Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of our podcast. And today we have a very interesting guest. He was part of our RepStack team for 3 years, and then he was too much liked by his client, so he was bought off. Welcome, Abubaker. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, everybody. Likewise.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your starting journey. You were working for some other field before this, and then you came with a gap of 6 years. And tell us a little bit about where did you start from and from your schooling and onwards.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me here on this podcast. It's a great feeling, first of all. Secondly, starting with my schooling and everything, I just completed my master's from Abubaker University back in 2024. And before that, to be honest, everybody, I started my career back in 2017 while I was doing my bachelor's. And it was more of like business that I started. So it's a whole shift of journey completely because I was running my own business and everything. It's a very interesting, yet emotional, yet inspiring story how I end up in RepStack. So it was like till 2022, I was running my own business, and back in 2022, I got into a very big fraud, and I was like mentally drained. I was like completely shut what I'm gonna do. And then I got this opportunity. I saw videos of Arthur that this is how RepStack works and everything. So I ended up sending my CV to RepStack back in July 2022. And I was rejected, to be honest, firstly, because I applied for training and development manager. So in the interview, they said that you are not fit for exactly this role, but we'll keep your CV here and we'll let you know later on. And then fast forward to August, I got called. She called me and she was like, we have another role. Would you like to do that? It was digital marketing associate. So I said, yeah, it would be interesting for me to jump into that field because I was working as paid ads specialist too when I was running my own business. I used to do paid ads by myself. I didn't want to hire someone. And my experience was all in marketing because my bachelor's was in marketing, my master's was in marketing. So it was like a shift of coming into this digital marketing role. Ended up in RepStack back in August 22 and then started working here. And RSA was the first place I came in. And it felt like challenging because work from home is something that we are going to talk about it more. But yet people talk about how easy it is, but yet it's very hard. It asks for dedication and commitment. So this is a short story of a journey that how I ended up in RepStack.
So what was your first role? Digital marketer, and how much time did you spend in RSA?
My first role was digital marketing associate. I spent like exactly 25 days in RSA, and I was then went on to a replacement of one of our associates because she was not feeling well for a month. So I had to cover up for her. And that was the time when I explored the SEO part because I was paid ads specialist before and I had to do that part and I started loving it. How challenging it is and how growing field it is. That later on it's going to take over the value of paid ads. And I wanted to be in a fight with Google as an SEO. So that was my first role. And in RSA, it was like 25 days. I also worked with Jeff Fisher for 10 to 15 days too, to get some trainings and whatnot. So this is how I worked in RSA. And then I got my first client after 2 months. It was Richard, Plumber Marketing USA. And he was running a marketing agency in USA.
And I think Richard is doing well as well for his marketing agency. How was the experience of working with a US client and how did you cope with that?
So it was a very good experience. Nervy in starting that how I'm going to work with a US client facing him for the first time and all that stuff. But it went very well just because of RSA, because the trainings we got there for executive presence, how we are going to talk with them and how much trainings we had, it gave me confidence that, I can do it. And with Richard, it was amazing because when I joined, it was like a whole new department. He was starting for SEO and we had 2 people, one from Venezuela and one was me. And just after 2 months, he was like, he used to call me Abe. In USA, you will know me with the name of Abe. So he told me that,
He would always be talking good about you.
Exactly. So he just told me that you will have to lead my department. So I was just thinking that how I'm going to cope before going. And fast forward after 2 months, he was like, you will have to lead my department. And it was pretty new. So I started working there and it was an amazing experience for like in 2 years. I grew up my team for SEO. It was like 15 people then.
Oh, wow.
We started with 2 only. We started with 17 clients. And 2 years, we had 52 clients and 6 in pipeline. So it was a very good journey. My team loved me and the team that I hired, it was not like that I was biased to Pakistani people. I had people from over the globe, Philippines, India,
That's
Venezuela.
great learning.
Exactly. The diversity of a team, I used to love it because I got to know about their culture. They used to know about my culture. So it was amazing.
What about your job role? Did it change? Because now you're leading 17 people. Just managing them is a huge task. or you were like still hands-on and you were doing your day-to-day as well?
So for me, it was a complete shift, right?
Hmm.
Because when you have a people of like 15, and then comes the part of team management. There was more of a leadership role that I had to play at that time, but also keeping my hands on experience too, that how things are working or not. So it was more of like first, before I used to do everything with my own hands. And at that time, I had these two roles. Then I had to slowly, obviously, dedicate my things to my team so that they can also get trainings on how these things work and how do not. I would say evolution of myself and my team, that how they are going to work. And then down the road, it was about me writing strategies and everything and seeing that what they are doing right and what they are doing wrong. And then getting those things right for my team also, because you will have to back them always. You cannot just poke them that you are not doing right. It's not the way of doing it. This is what I learned from all three of you, Yavar, Azhar, and Athar, that you will have to push your team to learn something. So learning was the biggest part that I learned, and I'm also providing them those learning. So it was a complete shift of a role from execution to team management.
I think the biggest focus in life would be learning, because otherwise you would be lagging behind all the time. And if you're good at learning, then you can do anything.
Exactly.
We've talked a lot about learning, but how to convert learning into implementation? How would you use that? Because it's easy to watch YouTube videos, there's a lot of trainings on LMS. What's the best way to convert that into implementation? And do you just go straight away and start implementing, or what's that process like?
So before jumping into how to implement, it's more like preparing your mindset, right? Because people fear after learning. I've watched a YouTube video. Now, there's this fear that if I'm going to apply, this is going to make it worse. You will have to get out of that mindset. Unless you are not going to apply it, you won't know that how it is going to turn out. And it can happen, it can go worse for you. But that is what is going to be your learning curve. That YouTube video that just gave you that practical learning. This implementation thing needs a big heart. That things can go wrong and I have to do it right. So this is, I think, a mindset thing that for implementation. And after implementing those, own up to your mistakes if you have done any. So that is going to be something that in the implementation phase, you are going to expand your learning.
And I think SEO is more about trial base as well.
Exactly.
You try different audiences, you try everything. So you have the room of maybe this will not succeed and things like that. And then your journey ended with that client and you came back. I remember meeting you last time at the RepStack rep camp.
Yeah.
And then you straight away went to another client. How was that shift? It's like a new job, or it's just that's something, this is just the same day I wake up?
So it was a complete shift again. I was coming from leading a 15 people team, working with 52 clients. And all of a sudden, when I went back to this client, it was like just one person in that team, which was me.
Oh, okay.
It was a complete shift from managing to execution, back to that part. And I think it is the most hardest part for you because you have led a team for 2.5 years. You were just writing strategies and they were implementing for you. And now you are getting it all along. It was again a very challenging day that I have to be back on executions again.
Do you enjoy challenges?
I actually enjoy challenges because my journey has been full of challenges. It has been a bumpy ride since 2017. So I like challenges. And it was like just 1 week that I was back to my groove and I started loving it again because it was a whole different niche. With Rich, it was like plumber marketings and it was all about plumbers. And now here, it's a mix of everything.
Okay, so general agency.
We have piano movers, we have urgent cares, we have like different niches coming in. So it was a whole big of a challenge because there we had a blueprint for all plumbers. Here I cannot work with a blueprint. Every client is going to be different. So this was something that changed completely. And I think that was something that gave me this motivation of kept going. Otherwise I would have been bored with this because implementing same things again. This challenge gave me that motivation that I have something new to learn because that is my part of my life. As you mentioned, that learning is very important. So for me, that kept me going.
I can see that. It gave you a lot of confidence as well. And then sometimes you fail, but you've done great with Richard as well and then with Jason as well. You're still alone in that department right now? Okay, awesome. So you're among those who've been bought out of RepStack. So this is for the people who are just starting and who don't know much about it, that there's an option for the client. In a certain time period, you think that somebody can perform well, they usually buy them out and then they place them within their teams for different reasons. How was that journey? How was that shift? Of course, the work would be the same, but it would have been a difficult decision for you as well.
It was a very difficult decision for me because it took me like 1.5 weeks to make that decision. When I got this message from my CSM that we got this for you, I was like, I'll have to take a break for it and I'll think about it.
Because you had already refused one
Exactly,
choice
yeah.
before. Yeah.
Before. So it was a very hard decision because it came into my life when there was nothing. I was coming from zero at that time, mentally challenged, financially challenged, and everything. So this place always had a very special place for me, this corporate specifically. So I made my decision after 1.5 weeks. It was a tough one that I had to make it because on the other side, there are things because I knew that I'm going to learn something new. It's going to be another challenge because now there's not going to be any CSM who can be there if I do something and she can back me to just go with it and we'll take care of it. It was all alone. So I took up to that challenge. But major thing I miss to this point, coffee breaks, rep camp, motivational speeches by Arthur. I still miss those. Some Karma connects with Azar. It was amazing too. The major missing would be rep camp. That is going to be coming soon, right?
Yeah.
So these are some things. And recognition.
Yeah.
To be honest, that is the major part of my missing. Before getting buyout, just 1 week before I got the associate of the week.
Oh,
So that
okay.
was the last of best memories for me from RepStack. That is something I'm going to miss because you lose that point when you get directly with the client.
Yeah.
They are not going to send you all the way that recognition from USA.
Yeah.
So that is something that I'm going to miss.
But then there are pros too.
Yeah.
Talk us through your pros. What are the pros?
For pros, I'd say
I think financial benefit.
financial benefit is the first one. Money is the motivation. If someone says that money is not the first motivator, I'd say it's a big lie.
Yeah.
To be honest, you have to be straightforward. on
Especially
that
for
one.
people like us
Exactly.
who come from humble backgrounds. And
Yep.
Yeah.
So money is the very important part, the financial stability that it gives you. And then another thing, it will open up the doors of things that you can be part of those sessions, those camps that are happening there. They can take you there. They can invite you there. So that is those are the pros that you are working with the client directly.
Yeah.
So these are two major ones. And
and then
believe
the
me,
world is open to you, and
Yeah.
you can maybe.
believe me when I say major, these are very major
Yeah.
pros actually
Yeah.
that they are going to give you.
I think you are one of the case studies that we had, and then we really did follow you, and that's the reason you're here today as well. That we really wanted to know how is it going and everything. Tell us a little bit about your tools that you're working with. What is the main tool that you're working on day to day?
Our day-to-day rule is going to be like 3 or 4 that I name, which is Ahrefs. For SEO people is the most important tool, I would say. And for local SEO, I have Bright Local that I use on my daily basis. Then we have Click for task management, obviously. However, I have my own ninja technique for time trackings and everything, but we have to use ClickUp. So ClickUp is another one. And then there are some Google-related tools. I call them tools because they are the major part of tracking and analysis, which is Google Analytics and Google Search Console. So these are some of the tools that are part of my daily life.
And how have you incorporated AI into your daily work? Has it helped you, or for you it's the same?
I think it has helped everyone big time. There's this whole fight every time something new comes up in SEO world. We have 2 groups which we call SEO nerds, and they are these modern SEO people. So implementing AI smartly was very important for us. It started giving me those blueprints for content outlines that we had to make from zero at that time, because I'm a single person in my team and I have to do it all with my own hands. So there AI comes into play. It helps me a lot. It gives me a blueprint that I have to tweak and I can work on that. So it saves my time. For example, for content outlines, it used to take 3.5 hours to create that outline before, with keywords and everything, and H1s and H2s and everything. Now with the AI, I have brought that down to 45 minutes.
Wow.
So that is how efficiently you can
Yeah.
use.
So basically, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, these jobs are going to be obsolete." And everything. I think it's the efficiency that's going to be, and you'll have more efficiency throughout the process, which is great, I think,
Yeah.
for everyone. And when we were talking offline, I remember you were talking that it's a huge challenge working from home as well.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a challenge? Isn't it easy? All right, you wake up, you just sit in front of the laptop and just start working. What is the challenge there?
They're like people of different kind of nature, right? For introverts, it's amazing. You not have to face people in corporates and everything. But people like me who are extroverts, who like to meet new people and everything, it's going to be a big challenge. People talk about the pros of work from home only. I'm going to talk about, it's not cons, but it's more of a challenging thing that you will have to face. Work from home asks for more dedication and commitment than you will have to do it in office.
Yeah.
Because you have that easy access of your bed too.
Yeah.
When you are working on a laptop,
Yeah.
your bed can call you, come sleep, we can work.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Distractions when
Yeah.
you're working from home, that is another thing. And then last would be your family. They are not going to understand every single time that you are working with Pakistani culture.
Yeah.
That's very challenging. So these are three things I would say. But on the other side, it's another good way of preparing yourself or making your personality with that commitment that
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
It makes you stronger.
Yeah.
There are going to be bad days. So on those days, it's always there are like hacks that you should try from work from home. Like walking for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We have heard that from you guys, right? And I've learned from you guys this. But with that thing, for me, commitment and challenging yourself and stay strong for the work from home. And if you're not feeling like working from home, it's not necessary that you have to do it. Take your laptop, go to a restaurant and work from there. Go to a co-working space. So this is, I think, how challenging it is because I worked before in corporate too, and it was much easier there.
Yeah.
Just to go there, and
Yeah.
you can easily waste time there. To be
Yeah,
very honest,
exactly.
and work from home, you cannot
Yeah.
waste time.
You can have a tea break of like
Exactly.
45 minutes, come back, and then go on a lunch break.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of pros as well attached to it. That it's challenging working at home, but then you're saving a lot of money on the fuel. You're saving a lot of time. You're saving a lot of stress. That especially you guys travel. I don't know how you cope with Karachi's traffic, man. It's crazy. So imagine going to work with 1.5 hours and sometimes 2 hours. So that's a lot of savage of time. You can spend that time with your family,
Yeah.
friends. You're not married, so you can spend a lot of time with your friends. Yeah, but I think there are a lot of pros in it if you're focused on your work. And with AI coming in and everything, with the tools, I don't think there is much left for slacking as well.
Yeah.
And if you're slacking with your own self, and then you're not committed to you're not committed to your future actually.
There's just one thing that I would mention here, mostly also, that one of the major pros is getting away from politics. That's the major part.
Yeah.
The culture is very important. In local market, it's very common.
Mm.
When you go into offices, there's politics going on.
And then I think there's another pro that you're sitting here and then you are competing with the world.
Exactly.
The world is open to you now. You're not competing with the people sitting next to you. You're competing with the people in the US.
Yep.
And you're making us proud. It was a pleasure talking to you. It always is. I hope to see you go places and do much more than this. And you're an inspiration for a lot of people.
Thank you.
And people listening, I think he's one of his kind. I remember the first time I met him at RepCam Karachi. Even at that time, I was really impressed. So fingers crossed, we'll see you soon again. And
Sure.
It was a pleasure talking to you and have a great time.
Likewise. Thank you, Edward. Thank you.
Thank you.